Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with me. My name is Cotton Candy Doll. If you're new here, then welcome. Welcome all. This is a shifting video. If you hear weird noises in the background, it's probably the laundry. Because I had some work to do today. Also, I absolutely hate the quality of this video. I have to figure out how to get the other camera to work. Do you guys like my all-night pen? Isn't it so cute? You can't even freaking see it because the quality of this video sucks. I didn't realize it was this freaking bad. It's terrible. You guys can't even see clearly. I have to get it fixed. I just have to. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna share with you guys what happened, the drama that's happening at My Hero right now between the heroes and between like the kids. They're basically at war with each other. I'm gonna tell you. Also, if I'm talking funny, it's because I bit my tongue. So it really, I don't know. Feels like it's swollen. It's rude to like show your tongue on like the camera and stuff, so I won't do that. I do have some ice cold water I've been drinking that's kind of been helping. I think I bit it. I don't even remember biting my tongue. It didn't become sore until recently. I think I just spit down on it because I think I was just like eating too fast. You know how when you're really hungry, you just start like. Anyway, so I shifted back to My Hero. As you know, Toshinori is back. I'm so happy. So basically, me and Toshinori have kind of been playing this game with each other where I'll come in and he'll be like hiding, kind of like hide and seek. That's what we've been doing, and so I basically have to find out where he's hiding. But it's so freaking scary because he just pops out of nowhere. And so he's jumping out of nowhere. He basically gives me like a heart attack. I'm like, every single time. And then I'm like shaking after. Because he works, it's like he's working harder to scare me than he has to. So I basically, my soul jumps out of my freaking body every time. And so, We've been on and off with this kind of game. We did have our special moment together at the house. We were just cuddling on the couch, and then one thing led to another. Then we were making out, and then next thing you know, he was like waist deep in me, and then that couch has a lot of memories. We're the only one who uses it though, so it's okay. But yeah. So there's that, and then I don't want to go into full details of what happened, but basically he's back to poisoning me again with coffee. And the thing is, I fall for it every time because I just forgot we stopped doing that for some reason. I don't know, I just forgot we stopped doing that. So, and I think he realized that I don't think about that anymore. So now he's like, oh, she trusts me no matter what, so I'll just drug every item she eats. And kind of that's what I did to him, so I feel like he's getting back at me for that. Because I'll be woozy, and then as soon as I start turning, he doesn't even wait for me to he doesn't even wait until I'm about to pass out. He doesn't wait until I'm feeling like, oh, completely bad. He'll wait until I just take one sip or one bite and go, so you took a bite of that, huh? And it's like, what did you do to this? And he's like, what I always do. And he'll smirk, and next thing you know, I'll wake up and he'll be like, I'll be like smothered in him. But he waits until like, don't you know where we'll wait, and then oh, you're awake now. Yeah, I think you like that, whatever. Yeah, so he's starting to become more like Hawks in that sense, because before he was just, it didn't matter. If you passed out with him, it's over. You're gonna wake up in his bed the next day or wake up under him and he's doing weird stuff to you. Now he's been getting like waiting for me to like wake up and be like, okay, now it's showtime. And it's like, damn it, showtime didn't happen while I was knocked out. I mean, I did, my body feels great, but it's like sometimes I don't always come there with that. Like the one time I needed to be serious. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys how what he did to me kind of backfired and blew up in my face. I know I'm still talking funny because of this. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to skip out and go to go see Toshinori. Instead, I went to go see Hawks because I'm like, you know what, I haven't been to see Kegel in a while. I visited Frodo several occasions, him and the dang cat. Together they wreak havoc. I'm just gonna say they created. Now it's basically like having two monsters, except one of them meows, and it's because it's a kitten. And I mean, obviously a kitten. If you've never had one, you don't know what they do, but they literally. So Kegel doesn't want to keep the kitten locked up inside of the cage. Skittles doesn't want to keep him locked in the cage, so he lets him out of the cage, which I don't completely disagree with it, but I think there should be boundaries in certain areas. This is a cat. It should not be allowed to go in the kitchen. It shouldn't be all on the counter, jumping all over everything. And that's basically what she does. She climbs the curtains. She rips up everything. She scrapes up the, he was yelling because she messed up his chair, but I said, she's just a baby, a kitten. And the kitten got frightened, and he's like, oh, are you scared? I'm so sorry. Yeah, come over and love on her now because you just yelled at her like that. So she can have psychological issues later. On top of that, she's a cat. She don't understand what she's doing wrong. And he's like, oh, she's ruined so many things. I just want to get her to claw. I'm like, it's too bad you already got her now. You can't declaw her. Like, you just can't do that. Like, I am so against. This is where I have a problem with people. Okay. Some of you guys are okay with, like, castration. Basically neutering and spaying. If your cat is an indoor cat, why are you spaying them? Why are you neutering them? If it's not outdoor, you shouldn't do that. I never did that to my cat. And most people argue, oh, they'll just go everywhere. My cat sprayed everywhere, but that's because I didn't know enough about him. You can literally take a wet napkin, rub it over the cat's face and all over his legs, and then rub it all over the area that whatever area your cat keeps spaying. Just rub the walls and stuff with it. Rub down the walls, rub down the chairs, wherever you're spaying, or basically it's not. I don't want to call it pee. It's kind of like marking his territory, but it's not. Okay, the smell is really bad. Okay, it might as well be worse than the litter box, because that's what they do. The male cats, when they get older, they start that. So if you neuter them at a young age, they won't do it. But if you know what to do, I mean, it's very tedious. But if you have a cat that you're not going to neuter, then you should rub part of it, because what you're doing is you're taking this scent and you're creating a scent there. So he doesn't need to spray there anymore. He doesn't need to spay, or she doesn't need to spay, because they already smell like it. Okay. And with the nails, as far as that goes, when I had my cat, I asked him before about my cat, and they told me just to clip the very tips of it if you're afraid of cutting too far. But if you're good at it and your cat trusts you, you can actually snip it decently to where they're not going to be ruining your furniture. But also you need to get a scratching post. So anyway, I know all this. So I'm trying to give my great knowledge to Kegel. And Kegel looks at me, he says, Skittles is a girl. And I'm like, great. I know that already. I was just telling you. And I'm like, never mind. I was like, forget it. So anyway, like I said, story time, okay? Went to Kegel's house, decided, I'm having a rough day. I'm just gonna go grab some ice cream out of the fridge. So, for some reason, there was ice cream there, and for some reason there was another bowl. So there were two bowls. So I'm like, one of them is obviously Frodo's bowls. I look at Frodo and he's like, nah, 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 nah. Like he's just crazy, okay? Just all over the place. And I'm like, he's had enough sugar. So I'm trying to figure out which one is Kegel's and which one is Frodo's ice cream. You would think the smaller bowl would be the kids' ice cream, right? So it had gummies in it. I took it and I ate it. I ate all of the ice cream. So then Kegel was like, well, I'm getting ready to go to the school. I said, I'm getting ready to go to the school too. He said, okay, great. Well, let's take Frodo. So he comes over. He's like, let's go, Frodo. He picks Frodo up. The cat is just allowed to wander. So he just leaves her in there. And he's like, let's go. And he's like, what did you put in the seat? I'm like, the ice cream. He goes, what ice cream? I'm like, the ice cream. Frodo's ice cream. He's like, why would you eat Frodo's ice cream? That's for later. I had a bowl in there too, but that's for something else. He rolled his eyes. I'm like, okay. Are you like, what's wrong? He's like, nothing. He's like, which bowl did you eat? I'm like, the one with Frodo's bowl with the freaking gummy bears in there. So I'm walking out the door and he's like, stop. I'm like, what? He's like, you ate the one with the gummies? And I'm like, yeah. Why? He's like, that was from Toshinori. I asked him for that. I'm like, you asked Toshinori for a bowl of ice cream? That's silly. Why would you ask for that? He goes, no, I asked him for the gummies. I'm like, you could have went to the store and got freaking gummy bears from the freaking store. He's like, not those kind of gummy bears. And I'm so dumb. Like, I'm not just not getting it through my head. And I'm going, what the heck are you talking about? And he's like, you know what? Nothing. Let's go. So I'm walking to the building, and I notice the building looks like it's just got bigger, and it's kind of like wavy. So I'm like, what? Like, Toshinori couldn't have had time to drug me because I wasn't with him. So what the heck is happening? And as I'm walking, the ground is starting to like move, so it feels like I'm driving, but I'm walking. So I'm like, whoa. So Keiko is just like, you know what? He's like, so he's walking up to the school. He has me like this, and he's like, let's go. So I'm walking, and I'm like kind of stumbling. So we get to the school. Principal Nezu's standing there. He's like, oh, Miss Cotton Candy, I wanted to talk to you because we're going to have a meeting with the kids again. We're talking to them. I'm like, okay, so where are we going? He's like, in the auditorium. So I follow Keigo into the auditorium. I'm walking beside him, but Keigo has my hand, and he's kind of like pulling me because at this point, the walls are kind of like doing this sort of thing, like kind of a zigzag. And I saw Midnight standing there, and she goes, oh, Miss Cotton Candy, she goes, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. And then, you know, it sounded like she said, shut up. And I said, what'd you say? And she's like, nothing. I didn't say anything. I'm like, yes, you did. You just told me to shut up. So then I walk past her, and I look back at Principal Nezu, and he's like frowning at me. I'm like, what are you frowning at? And he's like, I never frowned at you. I smiled. I'm like, you're freaking lying. I just saw you frowning. If you have a problem, just say it. You always come to me and you tell me when you have a problem. Now you're just going to sit here and look at me like that? He's like, look at you like what? And Keigo was like, just ignore it. Never mind. So we go into this big room. I hear nothing but like loud noises around me and just figures moving back and forth. I'm guessing these are the kids. So I see this green kid gets up. He starts running over. And it looks like he's about to run into me. So I'm like, stop. Watch where you're going. And I hear Midoriya's voice. He's like, what? I'm like, you're about to run into me. He's like, no, I didn't. I stopped right here. I was like, yes, you did. I was like, you almost ran into me the way you were running because it looked like you were going to bump right into me. And then he goes, what did he say to me? You freaking fat cow. And I was like, why? What did you call me? He goes, nothing. I'm like, yes, you did. You called me a fat cow. And Keigo is like, okay, he never freaking said that. So I'm standing there. So Keigo is like, I need you to sit down. So he like sits me down, and I guess he sat me in like a chair because I felt the cushion. And then beside me, I felt the arm go over my shoulder. And I hear, I'm here, like whisper in my ear. He's like, what are you on? I can tell that you're drugged or whatever. He's like, did you not take your medicine today? And then I hear Principal Nezu, oh, she didn't take her medicine. You guys are supposed to make sure she's medicated before you come in here because you promised that since she was going through a mental break, you were going to help her. This comes from way back. You guys remember when Toshinori said that I had like a mental problem and that I needed to be on drugs because I was obviously crazy or something? So they basically lied and said I had a mental break. So I'm listening to the kids behind me. So I heard someone walk up there, and I think it was Mr. Aizawa. And he said, attention, Class A, Class B, and everyone else. Whatever nonsense is happening here, you guys need to stop. Because we're not going to accept this. And I'm like, huh, what the heck are they talking about? So I'm kind of in and out of a daze. I don't really know what's going on. But apparently, one of the kids made a threat or something. Some kind of threat to like one of the classrooms and said he was going to come in there and I guess hurt everybody. Because he felt like he was hurting and he needed to hurt everyone. And I said, you know, this kid sounds like he's really... I looked over at who I thought was Toshinori. I'm like, this kid sounds like he's really sick. But I don't know what I actually said to Toshinori. I think that's what I was trying to say. But he goes, no, just don't say anything. And my seat felt like wet. So I'm like, my seat is wet. So I get up and then Toshinori is like, no, it's not. Your seat is not wet. Sit down. And then Midnight comes over and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And she goes, okay. So I'm standing there. I'm standing there. I don't really want to sit down. But there's kids behind me. And I hear Miss Cotton Candy there. Are you okay? And I go, yeah, I'm fine. Actually, So I don't know how crazy I must have looked to them, okay? Because the chairs were kind of off to the side, and the kids were sitting, like, I guess, on the floor of the auditorium. And I was like, I just want to sit on the floor next to you guys. And I sat down. And I felt the floor against me, and I felt my arms out. But I just felt so awkward because I could not sit down in the Indian style for nothing. Like, I was really drugged. It really messed up. And I don't even understand what made me like this. Like, Toshinori played too dang much. Like, did he, like, hit me with a syringe or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, did he do that? And it's obviously not. Because it was obviously freaking whatever those gummies were. They were, like, drugged so high. Like, whatever the dosage was. I mean, I'm trying to think about how many gummy bears was in that ice cream. Probably, like, 10. I don't know. So I'm sitting on the floor, and I felt somebody, like, prick me. Like, I felt somebody prick me. And it felt like somebody freaking stabbed me with a needle. So I'm like, Toshinori, stop playing. And I hear Principal Nancy go, Miss Cotton Candy, that we're in the middle of a meeting. You can't just start talking. And I turn around, and everything's blurry. And I go, what? What happened? And I hear, you there, stop. And there's a bunch of commotion around me. Doria says, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to just keep attacking no matter what. I heard Kirishima says, everybody get to safety. I got this. I'm going to handle it. And I heard the hero say, no, I think all of you guys need to go back to your dorms because something's obviously going on. And I hear, there's two of you. Why are there two? So I'm just like, I got to get out of here. So I get up because I can't see anything. At this point, it's just, it looks like a bunch of rings through like a circle. So it basically looks kind of like this. So Toshinori grabs my hand, and I feel him pick me up, and I'm like, Toshinori, I'm like, why did you do this to me? This is not funny. And he's not saying anything, he's just carrying me. And I feel like the big muscles of the guy that's carrying me. But then I reach around and I put my arm on his shoulder, and I almost like, it feels like, I feel like heat for some reason. So I'm just like, okay. So I take my hands off because it kind of scared me. I'm just like, what the heck? So I'm like this. So imagine someone holding you like this. You want to grab onto them, but you can't because you feel like they're too hot or something. And I'm like, who the heck is this? It's not Toshinori, because Toshinori would have been talking to me. He would have been like, it's okay, Kanye, I got you. But, you know, I can't wait to take advantage of you at this state because that's totally what I like to do, right? Instead, it was nothing. They were just walking me out. So when I got outside of the building, since I couldn't really see anything, I called my guide, and my guide came back and my guide came and got me. But I was just like, when he brought me back here, I was dizzy as heck. And I was just like, whoa, the freaking medicine. And then what happened after that was, I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna shift back there yet. Instead, I decided to just try and go elsewhere. So there's another realm out there that's like this one. It's basically kind of like our world, but it's darker. And I don't know if I've talked about this before with you guys, but it's a lot like this place, okay? But it's very different. I think that dimension lies between this one and whatever realm it is, because it's dormant or something. And at a certain time it awakens, and when it awakens, your mind is able to consciously travel to that place. And you can experience things there that is like here, but completely different, okay? It actually doesn't feel like a safe place at all, so. But I feel like some of you may have been there. So if you have been there, please leave in a comment that I've been to the place. Just put the place. Yes, I've been there, or just put like the place. Because if there's something you've noticed about it to make you feel unsafe, then that's probably because you've been there, because you've dealt with whatever it was. So then, anyway, I came back here, and I can't stop thinking about that place because I know I've been there several times. And my guy keeps bringing me there. And I have been back to my hero a few times since then, because I didn't know what was going on, and of course I had to go back and see, right? So when I did shift back there, I found out that Endeavor was the one carrying me, okay? This is how it happened. I walked into the school. Principal Nezza was there, was sitting down with Endeavor. They were both in the office, and I got ready to pass them by because I was going to head to my class. And Endeavor is like, he was like, Miss Cotton Candy, how are you feeling? I was like, I'm feeling fine. You know, I'm just kind of like this, like, fine. And then Principal Nancy was like, you were pretty wound up the other day, so I had Endeavor carry you. Toshinori had to take care of something. Apparently a villain had gotten into the school, and they don't know who it was, but this person was basically copying someone. And I can't look at this. I can't look at what it was, but I was just like, I think it was Toga again, because who the heck stabs you? Like, it felt like it literally, genuinely felt like a stab. And I heard them saying there's two of you. So I'm thinking maybe I was like, well, do you know who it was? And they were like, no. We have no idea who it was. We don't even know what happened. La di da. So then I held class that day. I had all the kids come in. And who was the kid that can talk to animals? Coda. So Coda came up to me. He's like, Miss Cotton Candy, I heard you were out sick for a few days. I decided to give you this as a gift. And I go, oh, what is it? And he handed me this tree. And the way the tree works is, it like, when you touch it, it flows with energy. So basically this is a feel-good type of energy source. It's warm around it. It was just beautiful, like, and it lit up and stuff. I was like, where did you get this? Because I was trying to figure out where he got something so beautiful and so like sentimental. It was very calming. I actually loved it. And he was just like, I thought of you and I got this. And I was like, thank you so much, Coda. You know, I wasn't expecting to get something like this from you. So then I set it on my desk. And so Bakugo is in the back. And usually he doesn't sit in the back of my class. He usually sits like to the side by the window because he just stares out the window most of the time. And then, what the heck is her name? Earjack, the Earjack girl. She's usually like sitting. So he was way in the back. She's usually sitting on this side. She was like in front of him. And then Kirishima was there. And then Midoriya was there. And then on this side, Ayama was there. And Kokoyami, Ochako, Momo was there. Who else? Mineta. He was sitting like in the front, like front center in the middle. And he's like, when are we going to go training? And I said, you know, they already have the back of the school reserved for us. So, and Cementos was going to be there to like basically like change the playing field for all of us or whatever. He basically was going to make mountains or whatever using his cement. So I was like, we're going to go in the back and we're going to go back there and we're going to train. And Midoriya raises his hand. I go, yes, what is it? And he goes, well, All Might came and told us that somebody was in the school and we needed to go back to the dorms. We didn't even get a chance to train. And I feel like it's not fair because they told us we were supposed to train with you sooner. So I'm like, Midoriya, you couldn't train with me then because I was under a lot of stress. And Bakugo was like, what the heck's wrong with you anyway? I saw Endeavor carry you out of here. I'm like, nothing was wrong. I was under a lot of stress. I had to leave. I was like, it was just the wrong time to come here. I didn't want the kids thinking I was crazy, so I just told them, I just gave them something so they could have something to go by. So we get outside and I told them, so we're going to start training with more than just our quirks. We're going to be using a lot of our physical abilities first, and then you'll be using your quirks. That way you can increase them. So I basically did like a timer, and I had them run around like I did the first time. And the first thing that happened was, as soon as they started running, Mineta got tired. And I'm like, what is up with this? Like, you were beating everybody last time. What happened? And he's like, I don't know. I just feel so much weaker today. I was like, well, you can just sit out for a minute. You know, we'll just wait. And then, so I had Bakugo run around. Immediately, Bakugo ran out of energy. And I go, Bakugo, what's wrong? You need to go back to the doctor. He's like, no. So then I'm like, Midoriya, run around here as fast as you can. And I set the timer. So Midoriya runs around. He comes back. He's like, oh, I'm so exhausted. So I'm like, somebody is basically draining the energy out of here. So I ended class immediately. I had all the kids leave out. And I talked to Endeavor and I told them I think there's still a villain here hiding. Somebody who has a quirk that can drain everyone's energy because I was getting really tired for no reason. Tokoyami couldn't even use his shadow if he wanted to, but he couldn't. Ojaka couldn't make nothing float. She couldn't even make herself float because she was so tired. And Mineta was like, all of his little balls, none of it was sticking to anything. He couldn't make it stick. It would just like sit there. And it was just the weirdest. I don't know if you guys have you guys ever held slime before? Or putty? you know how it does this? I picked up one of his balls and I held it in my, and I was doing this, and it was kind of, it's just, everything kind of just sucks in. That's what it's, so I think it's pretty cool, but like, I couldn't get the dang thing off my hand. He had to come over and take it. So that, I thought that was interesting. And he was just staring at me. His look was just like, kind of like that. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm like, obviously it was time for school to end and everything. So I ended the classes. We left. Who did I talk to on the way out? Who was the other one that I talked to? Not President Mike, not any of the teachers. Who was he? Who was he? Who was he? I'm not freaking remember. I think it was Dinky, but it was definitely somebody else. And he said he thinks he saw a villain, that he doesn't know who the villain was because he never saw them before. He couldn't even describe like what they look like. But I was just like, next time you need to just tell the teacher, like, don't let them just roam into school. If you suspect there's a villain, we need to know so we can stop it immediately. And he was just like, I understand. So I told the kids the next time they do their training, I told them we would go somewhere fun. And automatically they were like, amusement park, amusement park. I was like, no, we might go somewhere else, like maybe to like a water slide, or that time, maybe we'll do a water slide, like that time that guy with the water logs, he like manipulated it or something. You guys remember that when I had those new kids, when I first started like taking kids in my class, they gave me like detention class or something. And I had like, I was supposed to have the bad kids, and it was just quiet. It was like 2 kids, and they basically called it like a study hall before they gave me my class. Yeah. So I figured I would go back to that place because my experience there wasn't good with that kid. But I also want to try it again with like the UA class, since they're going to be training with me. I figured we'll do some stuff in water. I think that will be interesting next time. But afterwards, I was going to go back to Keiko's house because I didn't get to spend any time with him during the week. But because he had them dang edibles, I feel like I'm not going to go see him because he should have at least warned me before I walked in there. You know I eat out of your refrigerator. What are you doing? And he's like, well, you know, the big bowl was for Frodo. Why would you give him a big bowl like that? Like, why would you give him a huge bowl? So, I just thought that was dumb. But of course there's going to be an issue. You know, there's always some type of stupid issue with like food or something there that I screw up with. But anyway, that's what happened. My guide ended up bringing me back here, but since then I have shifted back to that place. So guys, if you've been there, just write in the comments the place, and I want to hear about your experience there. How was it different from this place? Maybe you have been there, because you know what, a lot of us go there subconsciously. Some of us shift there on purpose, people like me, and then you have people who fall asleep and who shift there. And basically it looks like your house or an old house basically, but it's completely different. It's not your house, but it looks like it. And this is the place. It exists, okay? It exists in an outer realm, not within this one. So, anyway, I thought I would just share that with you guys. I guess I'll end the video here. You guys will be getting another video from me soon because I really want to train all of the kids in like a water area. I know for a fact Froppy is going to do really good there. So I want to see like what she can do. I did not see Icy Hot there. So yeah, I didn't see Todoroki. So I don't know where he was. He was absent or something. He wasn't there. Midoriya was definitely there, but he wasn't. And Bakugo was definitely there. Everyone else was there, not him though. Not him. I didn't see Dinky until later. I didn't see what was her name? I don't remember her name. The one that shoots out the acid or the slime or whatever. I didn't see her. Actually, she was one of the ones I wanted to see there, but I didn't see her because I had a question for her. I was gonna ask her about her quirk in the water and how that was gonna work, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out in class, won't we? Because I'm pretty sure they'll all be there, since all of them weren't there this time. So I am really looking forward to it. So yeah, write down in the comments what you think. Has anything like this happened to you in real life? Have you ever accidentally eaten an inedible and have almost gotten in trouble for it, or been really tripped out because you didn't know? I mean, that's also what I get for trying to eat some little kid's ice cream, right? Like, I freaking deserve that. So, yeah. I guess I did deserve that, didn't I? Yes, you did. Am I a bad mom? I love my kid, but he drives me absolutely insane. He does. Other days when I go see him, he's driving me insane. And the thing is, he's become a lot calmer, but he still drives me nuts. It's just everything he does. And now he has this little critter just jumping all over everything. I mean, she is as reckless and as like, she's a maniac as much as he is. As much as he knocks things over, as much as he, now you've got an animal that just flies into everything blindly, just knocking things over. So I don't know. I told Kago, like, we need to take her to the vet. I don't know where you need to take her and make sure she's not freaking blind and that she can see everything she's doing, because it's just freaking weird. Or I told it doesn't hurt for her to be in a kennel sometimes and let her out. Like, when you're cooking, leave her in there. Have a separate room for her to roam in while you do stuff. And when it's okay for her to come out later, let her out. She doesn't have to be out there all like 24/7 just to make Frodo happy. And Frodo will be sad if you put her in the cage and leave her in there while you're cooking. He wants her to get out and put her on the counter and stuff. Well, then that's why you're gonna have a problem. And that's why no one's gonna eat at your house, because you can't have your cat up there while you're cooking. I'm sorry. And he's just like, well, we're gonna figure out something. We're gonna train her to be around the house. Yeah, I say you've done a really good job so far. Oh, the camera quality is so horrible. I'm sorry, guys. I'm definitely gonna fix this for next time. But anyway, if you guys like this video, don't forget to give this video a like. And if you hated it, then you know what to do. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you're notified when other videos like this one become available. Ding! And I guess I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.